My name is Dr. Mike Yeadon. I left Pfizer in 2011. What we were being told about this virus and what we needed to do in order to stay safe was simply not true. So it's not just a matter of disagreeing professionally, it's just complete nonsense. And we can certainly talk about the unreliability, untrustworthy nature of PCR testing. Everything your government has told you about this virus, everything you need to do to stay safe is a lie. You should disregard all announcements about case rates in your community. They're not telling the truth. And if they're not telling the truth, that means there's something else afoot. And I'm here today to tell you that there is something very, very bad happening. And if you don't pay attention, you will soon lose any chance to do anything about it. And don't say you weren't warned, because I've been warning people as long as I can and as hard as I can that governments around the world, and certainly yours locally, is lying to you in various ways that are easy for you to establish.
We have 33 confirmed positive tests.
We have 33 Pennsylvanians who have tested positive for COVID-19.
Today we have 33 cases.
There were 33 new cases.
The state of Minnesota today reported 33 new COVID-19 related deaths.
There are 33 confirmed cases in Arkansas.
That's the largest single-day increase so far, raising the total to 33.
33.
There were 33 confirmed cases in North Carolina.
33.
There was 33 everywhere. I think that was Red Team Go. I think 33 is like Red Team Go. Everybody goes, okay, let's do it. It's time.
Yeah, 100%.
Dude, there's like literally 1,000 33s and 33 new cases. 33 people died in fucking Hong Kong.
The number 33, we all know what that represents. Everywhere, every single day, it was like, well, 12 more cases, which now brings the state to 33.
Yes.
We had 33 cases today.
Yes.
We had 11 cases, which now it's 33. 33 more people. I'm going, oh my God, how dumb do you have to see to not understand this is going on? Yeah, that was green light, go. We're off to the races.
Yeah.
You've been subject to propaganda and lies by people who are very well trained in how they do that. If you find one thing your government has said which is clearly not true, I ask you this: why would you believe anything else they've told you? Don't you think that retired ex-Pfizer guy might have something after all? I beg of you to no longer assume what you're being told is true. I can't sweep away highly accurately done propaganda by people who are lying to you. If you would like to stand behind the desk called Comfortable Lies, there's absolutely nothing I can do to stop you. But if you would like to go to the desk called Uncomfortable Truths, which is the one I'm sitting behind, then welcome.
History is truly at a turning point.
Are you afraid of the flu? We didn't really understand the fatality rate. We didn't understand that it's a fairly low fatality rate and that it's a disease mainly of the elderly, kind of like flu is.
Do you hear what he's saying? And it mostly affects the elderly. And he said it was like the flu. That's what he said. Now, if I said those things, they'd take my channel down on YouTube. And this is what we ruined everyone's life over. And now he's admitting it. And no one gives a shit. No, this isn't going to be run on CNN for a week.
When someone dies of cancer, for instance, generally it's pneumonia or the flu that takes them out. It's like they're so weak that if they get the flu or if they even get a bad cold or pneumonia, everybody knows, right? That's common knowledge, right? Yep. But they don't put the flu for cause of death. They put cancer still, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to COVID, which is same symptoms, it's a coronavirus, they mark that as the cause of death. What if everybody that died of the flu that had cancer and the flu took them out, what if they marked that as a flu death? How many flu deaths would we have a year? Like 1 million? Right. We would have like 1 million flu deaths a year, right?
More, yeah.
Do they
do that with?
It's interesting, isn't it?
They had no flu cases, which was the wildest shit ever. Like if you look at the flu, there's a map that they had like red for a positive test of the flu during flu season, and then they showed 2020. In the year 2020, it's like a non-existent flu season.
Yeah.
It was the lowest recorded numbers of flu ever.
There's your flu last year.
Here's your flu this year. Literally doesn't even exist. It's not even there. Look. And again, this is the CDC's numbers. CDC's numbers. The flu is magically gone. It's all COVID now.
I just want to be clear in terms of the definition of people dying of COVID. So the case definition is very simplistic. It means at the time of death, it was a COVID positive diagnosis. So that means that if you were in hospice and had already been given, a few weeks to live, and then you also were found to have COVID, that would be counted as a COVID death. It means that even if you died of a clear alternate cause, but you had COVID at the same time, it's still listed as a COVID death.
What she said is, it doesn't matter what you die of. If we test you and you have COVID, we're marking it as a COVID death from a test that can't even distinguish COVID from the flu.
Governments all over the world, and including the United States, sent out instructions to doctors saying, change the way you fill out death certificates. And what they told them to do is essentially attribute everything as much as possible to COVID. And so then if they had someone who died of flu symptoms, they would say, oh, well, those are the symptoms of COVID, and they put COVID on the death certificate. And they would never, they would just not consider the flu because they're told to put COVID. And then you have all of the death numbers showing these COVID deaths, and then you look at the flu deaths and they're like practically zero. Right? Now, something that happens every year over and over again doesn't simply go away one year. What actually happened is that flu cases were just relabeled as COVID cases to give the appearance that there was a new deadly disease. But there really wasn't any. There was just those flu patients and then some other patients that were murdered by the medical establishment that had other illnesses. Like some of them had died of a gunshot wound and they were labeled as a COVID death, right? One pedestrian got hit by a bus in the UK and was labeled as a COVID death.
So there are also new questions over whether Florida counties are correctly tabulating coronavirus deaths.
One of the answers really surprised us. He told us that one person actually died in a motorcycle accident. And he told us that had gone into the COVID numbers, and he had asked the state to remove that number. And when asked if it had actually been removed or cleared from that data, he said he didn't think so, he wasn't sure, but he was going to double check on that. And so that's when we started asking questions here.
Everyone who's listed as a COVID death doesn't mean that was the cause of the death.
By this point last year, there were over 174,000 confirmed cases of flu. This flu season, look at that, has only 1,499 confirmed cases. That is less than 1% of the total this time last year.
PCR tests can't distinguish between the flu and COVID. Are we looking at that? Are we concerned about that?
Look, we have got virtually no flu in Australia. Like last year, there is virtually no flu to be found.
They have this category of flu cases in their mortality statistics and also just the incidence of flu. And suddenly, when COVID came, the flu just disappeared.
Only one person in the entire state died from the flu.
It was unexpected and very surprising, but literally there was nearly no flu this year in the Southern Hemisphere.
In partnership with CDC and state and local governments, utilizing the surveillance systems that are available, what we just talked about, the flu surveillance system, because we no longer have flu.
The flu is magically gone.
Study the numbers in 2017 and 2018. We had 50 to 60 million with the flu, and we had a similar death rate. In the deaths in the United States were 43,545, similar to the flu of 2017, 2018. We always have between 37 and 60,000 deaths in the United States every single year. No pandemic talk, no shelter in place, no shutting down of businesses, no sending doctors home. And we don't necessarily report all of our flu tests. We do thousands of flu tests every year. We don't report every one because the flu is ubiquitous. People that die from flu, with flu I should say, it's not from flu. Their lungs were compromised by COPD. They had a heart attack 2 years ago. They have a weakened body. We aren't pressured to test for flu. But ER doctors now, my friends that I talk to say, it's interesting, when I'm writing up my death report, I'm being pressured to add COVID. Why is that? Why are we being pressured to add COVID?
I want to state that we do not have a medical pandemic or epidemic. We also state that COVID-19 should not be on list A for any longer, because we now know that it is a normal flu virus, and the normal flu virus isn't on list A. So we are also starting a lawsuit to the state of the Netherlands to bring this in with a large group of doctors and a really large group of nurses also, because we have contact with 87,000 nurses that do not want the vaccine that is being prepared for us. I want to state, if there is no pandemic, I am wondering why our kids are in schools with masks. There's no reason for panic. Also in the medical practice, there's no reason for panic. The panic is created by these false positive PCR tests. 89% until 94% of those PCR tests are false positive.
Use common sense. Stop trying to convince yourself of a lie because your side is wrong. Stop trying to be right, do right, and do right is admitting you got lied to and fell for this shit.
Senza toccarlo neanche nella superficie, lo passiamo sulla frutta, in questo senso.
Kiwi è venuto positivo.
Ripetiamo l'operazione.
Su 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tamponi come positivi nell'essere umano.
The PCR is just completely invalid, because even if it did work as a test, well, what are you measuring? Because the only way to develop a test to measure a virus is to first demonstrate the virus and then find some part of it that you can measure more easily. But the PCR test as it is completely meaningless, and it doesn't matter how many times they amplify it. That's just a way to see what they can do is they can manipulate the test. And this is why they use PCR, because it's so easy to manipulate. There are at least 3 different variables that you can tweak to change your outcome. And the governments are using the results of this test to drive the policy. So if they want to institute a new policy or initiate more fear in the public, they can tweak the test. One of the ways is by increasing the amplification cycles, but there are other ways. And that will increase the number of positives.
If you get a cycle threshold of 35 or more, that the chances of it being replication competent are minuscule. So I think if somebody does come in with 37, 38, even 36, you got to say, it's just dead nucleotides, period.
The man thinks you can take a blood sample and stick it in an electron microscope, and if it's got a virus in there, you'll know it. He doesn't understand electron microscopy, and he doesn't understand medicine, and he should not be in a position like he's in. Most of those guys up there on the top are just total administrative people, and they don't know anything about what's going on the bottom. Those guys have got an agenda. You can't expect the sheep to really respect the best and the brightest. They don't know the difference. Who do we trust? Fauci? Fauci doesn't know enough to, if Fauci wants to get on television with somebody who knows a little bit about this stuff and debate him, he could easily do it because he's been asked.
The cases are based on a PCR test, which Mike Eden, former chief scientist for Pfizer, has pointed out that roughly 90% of the so-called cases are false positive. So we don't have sick people. And it was in the press this week that 86% of the positive cases had no symptoms.
That's a scam. That's fraud. You guys manipulate the data. It's been manipulating the data. So it's a scamdemic. So I'll never refer to this one as a pandemic. But it's really only 3 like, what is it? What's going on? It either came from some kind of animal, bat, monkey, snake, whatever, some kind of animal, or some evil scientist leaked it. Gain of function, money's going to virology labs, all that shit. Or all they did is hijack the flu. Because the tests they used, the PCR tests, were flu tests. They weren't COVID tests.
If they could find this virus in you at all, and with PCR, if you do it well, you can find almost anything in anybody. It starts making you believe in the sort of Buddhist notion that everything is contained in everything else, right? I mean, because if you can amplify one single molecule up to something that you can really measure, which PCR can do, then there's just very few molecules that you don't have at least one single one of them in your body, okay? So that could be thought of as a misuse of it, just to claim that it's meaningful. Those tests are all based on things that are invisible, and the results are inferred in a sense. PCR is separate from that. It's just a process that's used to make a whole lot of something out of something. That's what it is. But it's not, it doesn't tell you that you're sick, and it doesn't tell you that the thing you ended up with really was going to hurt you or anything like that.
The first story about that there was some, animal species harboring a virus, and the official story is that it's related to a bat virus, or at least that's what the fake computer genome says that it is. And so that's kind of the official narrative. But once again, they haven't actually shown evidence of the virus itself. So we can dismiss that story because there's no virus to speak of. If it was caused by a virus, we should be able to find that virus in the people who are sick with it in nature. And if we can't find that, then we have to look for some other cause, right? And of course, if you can't find a virus and then you say that you make a treatment based on a virus, that doesn't even make sense. Like, it couldn't possibly work.
We don't have sick people.
How come nobody's dying? If this was so deadly, dude, when someone in the NFL gets fucking COVID, no one's like, oh my God, we're gonna talk to the parents. Like Nick Chubb, he's my favorite running back, he's on the Cleveland Browns. He gets COVID, he's not even sick.
How did you feel?
I felt good.
You didn't have what? Did you have symptoms? Or?
No, I didn't really have any symptoms. I felt bad maybe one day, but other than that, I felt great. I felt good, I felt like I could play.
How about in jiu-jitsu, nobody's dead? Jiu-jitsu is the opposite of social distancing. That's why a lot of jiu-jitsu people ain't falling for this shit, because we ain't dying. The only people dying in jiu-jitsu are people that got the vax and then they have heart attacks. Those are the ones that are dying.
Soccer players.
Yeah. With fire today, Eddie, you just blew my mind a little bit, because thinking back before the vaccine was available, you never heard about these soccer stars falling over. If you can get myocarditis from having COVID and you can also get it from the vaccine, why is it just after the vaccine that we're getting all these montages of athletes dying?
Athletes in high school are dropping dead of heart attacks. I saw a TV ad, when your child has a heart attack, what you don't have is time. When your child has a heart attack, what are you talking about? Child has a heart attack? What are you talking about?
Don't tell me that fucking the vaccine doesn't have anything to do with kids getting fucking heart problems, because I never heard of this before the vaccine was introduced. Just common sense tells you that these fucking kids, something's going on, because I never remember going in school, oh, did you hear about Billy? Oh yeah, dude, he had a heart attack and died. Never!
Epidemiology of myocarditis and pericarditis following mRNA vaccines in Ontario, Canada. By vaccine product, schedule, and interval. Now here's their abstract. Importance. Increased rates of myocarditis and pericarditis following the COVID-19 mRNA vaccines have been observed. However, little data are available related to product-specific differences, which have important programmatic impacts.
International soccer seems to be suffering from a mysterious heart disease as Barcelona star Sergio Aguero tearfully retires from soccer due to a heart condition after he collapsed on field during a match.
We have some breaking and tragic news tonight out of Alto, where we have learned a high school student has died while playing in a basketball game. Sophomore Devontae Mumphrey collapsed on the court early in tonight's game.
17-year-old Claire Crawford, a senior, suddenly collapses.
I had pain down my left arm and my heart felt like it was working really hard, but I just assumed I was out of shape.
A fellow teammate found Avery Gilbert collapsed and not breathing in a dorm entryway. He died at the hospital.
Collapses mid-game.
Then kind of slowed down a little bit. Oh, look out, look out. And he collapses.
It's not just the heart issues. I mean, like, without delving into your private affairs, you've got Bell's palsy at the moment, which hopefully you're on the back end of that, but there's a bit of that going around as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's got heart issues and Bell's palsy. It's gone through the roof since the boosters.
There's a lot of this going on in world sport at the moment.
Well, in the world.
World sport?
Yeah, I think
a lot of athletes have got these issues.
And are you, Brownie, referring to the booster shots and the
booster shots?
contracting?
A new study on the COVID-19 vaccines found more cases of heart inflammation than expected among members of our U.S. military. It is raising questions.
A new study describes how 23 service members later developed chest pain and sought medical attention. Tests showed it was myocarditis.
Myocarditis, that's the name given to inflammation of the heart muscles. Vaccine study of 23 million show risk of heart problems from Moderna and Pfizer jab. The risk of heart inflammation after receiving doses of the Moderna or Pfizer COVID vaccines has been laid bare in a huge new study of 23 million people. 23 million people.
We are definitely seeing in all these age groups that are getting mandated vaccines, we're seeing cardiac arrest.
As someone in entertainment, we have to get vaccinated.
We have to
really.
do it. So nice.
Even just yesterday, a radiation oncologist came up to me and said, "You're right. Something is wrong. I am seeing cancers that we normally keep in check, and we know we can manage this cancer, and the patient will get 2, 3, 5, 6 good years of life. But they got their shot or they got their booster, and then 2 months later, their cancer is a wildfire. And these are things that we've managed easily in the past." So again, as a pathologist, I go to what's the pathophysiologic mechanism? What's causing this? What's going awry? And there was a really good paper by Dr. Fosse et al. Out of the Netherlands looking at the Pfizer vaccines, and they did a pretty good analysis of the immune system after the shots. And their conclusion was alarming and concerning in the sense that it said, we're seeing an alteration of the innate immune response.
No one should ever take these jabs, ever, under any circumstance whatsoever. Everyone who has taken the jabs is blood clotting. If you don't believe me, there's a way you can find out. Take what's called a D-dimer test. What that does is that detects blood clotting at the microscopic level. They're cutting full blood clots out of people right now.
Well, relatives have said that Lisa developed severe headaches a week after receiving the AstraZeneca vaccine and then became severely ill a few days later. She died at Newcastle's RVI last Friday afternoon, having been treated in intensive care for blood clots and bleeding.
I went to the pharmacy the other day. I got a booster shot.
Bob Saget has died.
Rapper and actor DMX has died. The hospital says he suffered catastrophic cardiac arrest.
The FDA has imposed new restrictions on Johnson & Johnson's coronavirus vaccine. The agency says the risk of rare but potentially life-threatening blood clots means it should only be administered when other COVID-19 vaccines can't be used. About 17 million Americans have received the Johnson & Johnson shot.
The last 3 weeks I've looked after 3 people under 30. On Friday I looked after a guy who died suddenly, and he had a post-mortem. So we were kind of waiting for a sudden death in a youngster that had a post-mortem to take a closer look. I'm going to hold it up. This is a glass of formaldehyde with just some that were pulled out of the arteries to get the pump in. The thick one here, this one here came out of the aorta from the heart. They take the shape of the vessels that they're growing in, totally, and they gradually fill the vessels as they grow. And these, obviously, that's what's killed him.
They think the government wouldn't give him something that's experimental,
That's the main thing. Most people cannot accept that the government would give you anything that might potentially kill you.
People vaccinated are getting sick.
What? You need a new booster. What? Who wants a shot? Who wants to see a ball game? Ooh, 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 ooh.
Just get vaccinated, baby. The Raiders are requiring all fans to be vaccinated to attend games.
Wave your flipper.
Starting tomorrow, they will be hosting a 3-day vaccination event at Busch Stadium.
That's for you. Go see the ball game.
You know, if I have to show my vaccine card, if I'm not vaccinated, if I have to get a shot there at the stadium, you know, whatever I've got to do to get in there and see that game, you know, I'm willing to do it. And some people might say, well, it's, you know, just a football game, etc. But I mean, for some of us, this is life. You know, this is what we live for.
Who wants to work again?
We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin. If you want to do business with the federal government, vaccinate your workforce.
That's for you.
You got the vaccination? Are you okay? I mean, you seem, no, it works. Or you know, or the mom and dad, or the neighbor, or when you go to church, or when you're, no, I really mean it.
Who wants their kids educated?
So I took the day off myself, and so I think it's important to have that quality time together and you know, and explain what we're doing here.
What's in the shot? It's safe, don't worry.
Here's a brand new, sealed, perfectly sealed, brand new box of the J&J vaccine. You can see here, I'm going to break this open, and perfectly on top is this perfectly normal package insert. It's a lot of safety and efficacy data. In fact, all of the normal information that we would find in a package insert, like the ingredients, that would all be found right here in the package insert.
This is why people hesitate to take it.
Why is it intentionally blank if it's all the safety studies?
They're inside.
They're inside of it?
And this folds out.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and get one of these 35 packages, and I'll need
It supposedly folds out. I've got to get online and find it.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I already know that it's intentionally blank. My last question is, how is it informed consent when all of the safety studies, placebo safety studies, are not listed from the manufacturer?
That's a great question. I would talk. I would talk to CVS about that because.
Okay. So if we don't know what we're injecting into ourselves, I don't understand how that's informed consent.
That you're exactly right.
Okay.
And you're exactly right.
Yeah.
And you are correct. I should not be giving these vaccines at all.
Okay. Oh, why are you giving them?
Because I am told to, and that's how. Because I am told to, and
Must be magic. It's all blank. The whole thing.
Don't worry. Don't worry. And then the news cockatoos come out. Watch the news. Watch the news.
Excuse me. Let me get some of that. They said, yeah, I'm fine. I got tested twice, negative both times. The cough, probably just nerves. Yeah. Can I just add that I've started a GoFundMe.
Our best to you and your family, Frank. Thank you.
Watch the news. Watch the news.
All right, thank you very much.
Is the coronavirus why we have to stay at home?
Yep, that's right, Big Bird.
Don't get the vaccine, you can't go to the supermarket. Don't have the vaccine, can't go to the ball game. Don't have the vaccine, can't go to work.
A vital part of preparing for hurricane season is to get vaccinated now.
Watch the news, watch the news.
When people are vaccinated, they can feel safe that they are not going to get infected.
If you're vaccinated and you have your booster shot, you're protected from severe illness and death, period.
Breaking news out of the White House. The president has tested positive for COVID-19. He is fully vaccinated and has received 2 booster shots, the most recent in March.
The people who are not getting vaccines, who are believing the lies on the internet instead of science, it's time to start shaming them. What else? Or leave them behind.
Trust the experts, trust the experts.
This is something that is 10 years in the making. If it works perfectly, it's going to take a decade. And that's where the federal government comes in.
Well, yeah,
no, seriously.
With all your money.
Yeah. No, seriously. Are you afraid of the flu? Don't bother me. I mean, that's the reality of how people perceive flu. So we really do have a problem of how the world perceives influenza, and it's going to be very difficult to change that unless you do it from within and say, I don't care what your perception is, we're going to address the problem in a disruptive way and in an iterative way, because you do need both.
Trust the science, trust the science.
Right, now, masks, quite frankly, are more important for people who are infected to prevent them from infecting someone else.
It all started with a dispute over mask wearing. That seems to be a sign of the times.
And hopefully they would get a better mask than the drugstore sells?
Right. The drugstore masks that sell have a lot of loopholes in them that let the virus through.
They make up their own rules as they go. They change them when they want to, and they smugly, like Tony Fauci, does not mind going on television in front of the people that pay his salary and lie directly into the camera.
So wash your hands repeatedly. You don't need a mask, and if just avoid crowded places where everyone's sneezing.
You're gonna shoot me for trying not to breathe?
People should not be walking around with masks.
You're sure of it? Because people are listening really closely.
There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is.
CDC, CDC, Dr. Fauci, Dr. Fauci.
Wear a mask, okay? This is what they're saying. Make sure you wear a mask. So you wear a mask. Then you want it to fit better. So one of the ways you could do it, if you would like to, is put a cloth mask over, which actually here and here and here, where you could get leakage in, is much better contained. I wear a mask when I'm outside all the time, particularly making sure that I don't remove it when I'm close to people.
Are you a double masker, Dr. Fauci?
And, you know, it doesn't bother me. I even run with a mask on. Sometimes it gets a little moist there.
Mask on, mask off, 2 shots, 1 shot, mask on, 2 masks. Comply, comply.
Make sure you wear your mask at all times. Do your part.
It is a federal crime. Put your hand behind your back. If we catch you with that mask below your nose, don't ask questions. Do what you are told. It is for your safety.
No, they didn't isolate the virus. That's the issue. That's the issue.
Well, you isolate a virus by
Clearly, logic and common sense dictate that if you have not isolated the thing you are looking for, there is no possible way to determine what the thing is made of or what it alone does.
You may be interested to know that the prize for providing the proof of isolation and genetic content for SARS-CoV-2 has jackpotted up to €1 million.
We make it clear we're not just asking for something maybe where you yourself isolated. We're saying any record of it being isolated anywhere in the world by anyone, and they have nothing.
Yet all of the listed institutions indicated the same, that they had searched their records and located none describing legitimate isolation of any SARS-CoV-2 patient sample performed by anyone ever.
We published our findings in the recently released updated version of Virus Mania, and as many of you will know, none of the study authors claimed to have obtained the virus in purified form.
The most important paper written on the COVID-19 situation by Christian Drosten and others on where he got the genome or where he got the PCR segments that they're using in their tests. And he says, and I'm quoting here, "We aim to develop and deploy robust diagnostic methodology for use in public health laboratory settings without having virus material available." Now, I don't know how much clearer they can make it that they never actually had possession of a virus. They never had possession of a genome. If this is a hoax that Pfizer doesn't have the virus as their template, and apparently Pfizer is in on the hoax. The DNA template, SARS-CoV-2, gene bank, etc., was generated via a combination of gene synthesis and recombinant DNA technology. So this is a hoax.
Every part of this narrative is based on your blind belief in authority. Whether it's scientists, whether it's doctors, whether it's government, every part of this is about blindly trusting what you're told. And there's endless amounts of evidence that suggest that that's not the case, that you're being deceived, that you're being lied to. I just don't understand why we are so willing to accept that reality, willing to accept the narrative that they're pumping out for us.
The tests we've seen around the country from doctors are showing that almost 45,000 people that got these vaccinations were dead in 72 hours. Workers all over the state that can't support their families because the governor mandates you're getting inoculated or you're getting fired. With influenza, when they found 53 deaths as a result of the vaccine, they suspended the vaccine. We can show 45,000 deaths in 72 hours from this vaccine. You have companies making $1 billion plus a month. The pressure they put on the FDA to endorse these vaccines is unbelievable.
The FDA, I think will do a good job of that, despite the pressure.
I think they'd rather pay people for the deaths of their family members than stop making the $1 billion a month. So we're going to go through now the plan, what we're filing, who we're filing for, and the progression for the rest of the year. What we're going to do to try to help workers, parents, and everyone else that's going to be affected by what the existing governor's order is.
If they're going to fire us, they're going to fire us. And that's up to them. Well, we'll be there for you. We will be at work, don't worry. If we're not there, it's because of them. It's because of the mayor. It's because of the governor. We want to be there. We signed up for this. This is what we want to do with the rest of our lives. We want to run in. We want to stop the bullet. We want to swim into the 40-foot waves to save your lives. That's what we want. That's what we want it to be. And if we're not there on the 16th, you can call Mayor Blangiardi and thank him.
Here's what I'm going to say to those that are going to censor this. Google, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Let me tell you what I'm going to say. You are complicit in causing death. And I cannot wait to sue you over and over again. Ladies and gentlemen, 45,000. And let me tell you what, there are reportedly around 11 or 12 systems that are reporting deaths and injuries to the government. How many have really died? And why are they covering it up? These people are murdering people. This is complicity at minimum. People need to be in jail. I've been working on this for a while now. Is that it's immensely higher number. Immensely. They know it and they are covering it up, and I want investigations immediately.
What does the Department of Defense have to do with this?
BioNTech will work with Pfizer as the IRB. They are the applicant in the United States for the FDA approval. And I'm going to show you this on the FDA approval. They're also designated as the manufacturer and the authorized agent in the United States.
How can you be the manufacturer and the independent review board?
It's grossly unethical and illegal. They paid about $3 million to have the FDA approve it on January 16, 2022. I showed you other documents. The original timeline was for 2025 because that's the actual timeline for an actual vaccine to go through an accelerated review process. There's no way in heck it should have been done by January 16, 2022. What happened on August 8th, Dr. Fauci said, once we get FDA approval, mandates will be inevitable.
The FDA is the gold standard of regulatory agencies throughout the world. Mandates will occur, and if, for example, you will have universities and colleges which have been quite reluctant to do a mandate because they didn't have the backing of a fully approved product. And I think you're going to see large corporations doing the same thing, saying, if you want to work physically in this particular place, you're going to have to get vaccinated. And I think that's going to be really important.
The FDA has given its full and final approval. So let me say this loudly and clearly. If you're one of the millions of Americans who said that they will not get the shot until it has full and final approval of the FDA, it has now happened. The moment you've been waiting for is here. It's time for you to go get your vaccination and get it today.
And they also engaged in marketing. And so they violated all of the laws under the Food and Drug Consumer Protection Act that are in place to safely bring a product to market, including false and misleading labeling. And when he approved it, he broke the shield. And they also engaged in marketing. And so they violated all of the laws.
Hello, my name is Michael Caine. I've just had a vaccine for COVID. It didn't hurt.
Girl, you look good, won't you vax that thing up? You's a handsome young brother, won't you vax that thing up?
Oh. What was that, Elton?
That was me, acting.
Okay, let's cut there.
Everybody, it's time to vaccinate. Faster, no time to waste.
I want you to get the vaccine because I want you to be safe. Love you. Love you too.
शत्रु हो कोई भी हम झुके नहीं दुश्मन के शस्त्र जो हजार शतकोट कंजिदा 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 हाय न्याओ कंजिदा 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 हाय न्याओ फांसिंदा.
We urge you to get vaccinated when it's available to you.
So roll up your sleeve and do your part.
This is our shot.
Now it's up to you.
Did you say free fries when you get vaccinated? I got vaccinated.
We don't want you to get sick.
If this is appealing to you, just think of this when you think of vaccination.
Time for us to trust and not debate. The vaccine, believe it's safe to take. 9 out of 10 people won't get sick. That's 90% effective and legit. This COVID thing is real and it will find you. It's killing our people, let me remind you.
Vaccination.
We don't want you to die.
I'm getting a very good feeling about vaccination right this moment.
So please, hear us.
Every vaccination
brings us
closer
together.
And when your turn comes, take the jab.
And they had like billboards on the highway, right? Like warning you about this. I mean, it was like a major marketing campaign at the World Economic Forum. They put out videos, written information. They announced the whole entire plan.
Yes.
And the UN also, and the Rockefeller Foundation and the Tavistock Institute. I mean, right?
Okay.
There's lots of written materials that essentially give you all the details of this globalist, plan, and you can see how the pandemic actually achieved many of the aims of that.
These depraved animals, what they've done is use the media and created a false narrative that has led us to be living in chronic anxiety and fear and human isolation. If anyone studied psychological warfare, you'll know that those two points, anxiety and human isolation, will cause most people to decompensate psychologically and become very vulnerable and gullible and easy to manipulate.
One person in LA County is dying every 8 minutes from COVID-19.
It's very simple. Don't give in to the fear. Do not isolate yourself at all from the people you love. Don't take the poison death shot. Do not listen to the murderous NIH, CDC, FDA, WHO. They're the enemies of the people. Do not listen to their advice, because their advice is a death sentence.
Is the vaccine being introduced in Africa as a means of population control?
There is a history of using various experiments and trials in communities of color, which include, unfortunately, times in which sterilization and, what some have deemed efforts of genocide have occurred.
One of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. How we can get this down to zero? Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. We could lower that.
Are these vaccines safe?
Well, the FDA, not being pressured, will look hard at that.
The vaccine is more dangerous than the coronavirus. If you want to get on an airplane, you have to be vaccinated. If you want to get Social Security, you need to be vaccinated. If you want to get whatever benefits they give, you need to be vaccinated for it.
And we're just going to pretend we didn't hear that? That was the beginning of, whoa, there's something. This is like a war.
There is no corona pandemic, but only a PCR test plandemic, fueled by an elaborate psychological operation designed to create a constant state of panic among the world's population. This agenda has been long planned. Its ultimately unsuccessful precursor was the swine flu some 12 years ago, and it was cooked up by a group of super-rich, psychopathic, and sociopathic people who hate and fear people at the same time, have no empathy, and are driven by the desire to gain full control over all of us, the people of the world. They are using our governments and the mainstream media, both of which they literally own, to convey their panic propaganda 24/7. Our governments are not our governments anymore. Rather, they have been taken over by the other side through their main platform, the World Economic Forum.
We have to prepare for a more angry world. And how to prepare? It means to take the necessary action.
That's who runs our Western power bloc, is these people. And the World Economic Forum is just one of these many entities. Klaus used to be the head of Bilderberg. So then then he went on to be WEF head. He's very open about what all he wants to implement. And again,
I saw a clip of him talking about wanting to put a chip in everybody.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains, and I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants.
The Great Reset is not a conspiracy theory either. It's something that was talked about and supported openly on the World Economic Forum by Klaus Schwab, who's the executive chairman of the forum. Time magazine, which is owned by Mark Benioff, had the Great Reset on their front cover of their November 2020 issue with Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jeff Bezos. The Great Reset was also discussed and supported by England's Prince Charles, Antonio Guterres, who is the Secretary General of the UN.
People who like mock it, like, oh, the Great Reset, and it's like, no, dumbasses, we didn't come up with this. This is what they named their plan. This is what they named their plan. And we have to deal with a lot of these dumbasses on Twitter that don't even understand that this is something real.
Really vicious, really corrupt, really wicked people have risen to power and run these corporations and run this whole operation to bring in this Great Reset. And I think pretty clearly it should be obvious that the Great Reset requires these constant scare scenarios. And so really social engineering is most effective in wartime. And that's something that they learned in wartime. Many, many white papers discuss this, that they can get more done in wartime than in so-called peacetime through the fear. So the real pandemic is the fear that the media and the medical establishment push, and that fear causes everybody to freak out, and they're just 100% easily manipulated that way. When we understand that this is warfare, it is warfare on the population of the world. The domestic population is the target of the warfare, not a foreign enemy, not hackers in China or Russia. The domestic population is the enemy of the 0.0001%. Suddenly we see why education dumbs people down, why the money system gets everybody into debt, why the food is poison, why the medical system is the backdoor for the NWO that's emerging right now from the shadow. It's been a shadow government, now it's uncloaking, coming out of the shadows.
Mr. Rothschild, your family committed all these acts against society, but we just want to let you know the New World Order has no legitimacy. We as a people are not afraid, and we are waking up to the robber barons and the big banksters who are looting the economy with the Federal Reserve.
Well, I am not devoted to the radical Great Reset movement. See, that plan, and we've discussed it here before, involves dramatically increasing the power of government. It's an initiative of the World Economic Forum and its founder, Klaus Schwab.
I see the need for a Great Reset.
The world must act jointly and swiftly to revamp all aspects of our societies and economies, from education to social contracts and working conditions. Every country, from the United States to China, must participate, and every industry, from oil and gas to tech, must be transformed. In short, we need a great reset of capitalism. The Great Reset will happen with greater speed and with greater intensity than a lot of people might imagine. Well, we've told you before what this means for you. Or actually, I only told you what the World Economic Forum has released. But there is hope, because as Uberführer Schwab said, the Great Reset needs every country and every industry to participate. I suspect not, which is why I really do think that your freedoms and the future of capitalism itself depends on these two dictatorships. Now sure, they may pay lip service to the garbage promulgated by the WEF and their cronies, but there is zero chance the world will ever surrender their power to New York or Brussels-based officialdom.
Pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset.
They fooled everybody. They called it Corona at first so that they could use those tests, the flu tests. That's why there's no flu numbers. They use the flu test. Everybody thought coronavirus was new. Coronavirus is the flu, but nobody knew that. They relied on people's ignorance.
Don't worry about waking up the sheep. Worry about waking up the sleeping lions. They're never going to wake up, and they just refuse to admit that they've been duped.
Not just over 6 months, not just over 2.5 years, but it has been planned over decades. The changes to legislation in this country were done so that they could control doctors and people. But the people are waking, and it's thanks to people like Dr. Altman and all the presenters here today, thanks to people like Senator Babette and Craig Kelly. We know and we knew that this is all bullshit and that we've been had. But we are going to hound you down, the people that are guilty. We are going to hound you down and hold you accountable. And we will expose your global agenda so that the people can be free in the future. Because I love my kids, and I'm looking forward to my grandkids.
I just want to remind everybody who pays for the news. Who pays for the news? Who pays for the news? I want to remind you.
Is brought to you by Pfizer. CBS Health Watch sponsored by
Pfizer.
Anderson Cooper.
Anderson
360.
Cooper is brought to you by Pfizer.
To you by Pfizer.
That's right.
ABC News Nightline.
Who's it brought to you by?
By Pfizer.
Oh my God.
Difference. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Oh,
CNN Tonight.
CNN Tonight. Who brings you it?
Brought to you by Pfizer.
Pfizer
Early
brings you
start. Brought to you by
Pfizer. That's right.
Friday night on Aaron Burnett.
CNN.
Out front.
Who brings it to you?
Brought to you by Pfizer.
That's right.
I think trust science.
Well, and a question for you. I've heard you have not yet had your shot. When do you plan to get it?
The sooner I can, I will.
Have you taken the vaccine, sir?
No, I haven't taken it yet, and people will believe much more on this vaccine if the CEO is getting vaccinated. So likely I will get it.
As Seth knows, we are now throwing those into the garbage. It's sad to say. I'm in the process of throwing 30 million doses into the garbage because nobody wants them. Every country, and nobody wants to take them. The issue in many countries is people don't want vaccines. In the US, people don't want vaccines. Around the world, we have a lot of people who don't want the vaccine.
It's a war. It's a war on our spirit. It's a war on our mind. And in war, your family's taken out. Your loved ones are taken out. The fear that controls so many people, it won't control you if you don't allow it. It's okay to be fearless. It's okay to know the beauty of life inside you, that whatever we're living in right now is doing everything it can with every screen, every broadcast. They're disgusting. Broadcasters are disgusting. It's all vanity. They can't wait to put on their makeup. They can't wait to look good. They can't wait to say something they don't even know anything about. They can't wait to sell their new slogan to help destroy the life within you. You. Within you. It's in you. Let your light shine. Let your light shine.
Get vaccinated.
Turn it all off. Give yourself a break. Just give yourself a break. That's all you gotta do.
There's just so much information now that the people have that shows we've won. And I feel like it's a time of celebration. They know that their time is coming to an end. We're not going to take any more lies. We're coming together as people. We're coming together under the realization of unconditional love. Everybody just wants to be left alone, sovereign and free to be able to do whatever they want to do without hurting people. And that's how people are revolting against the media and calling things out, and everybody's saying the same things, even though the media is saying one thing, then consciousness is shifting and we've won.
Show of hands on this stage. Do we think it's going to happen? Do you think it's going to happen?
What?
To get to vaccination of 70% of the population of the world?
No, it's too late.
Too late. Too late.
Let's go, Brandon. I keep a drum like I'm Nick Cannon. Hey, hey, let's go, Brandon. Pandemic ain't real, they just planned it. Hey, hey, let's go, Brandon. When you ask questions, they start banning. Hey, hey, let's go, Brandon. Hey, hey, let's go, Brandon. Hey, hey, let's go, Brandon. I keep a drum like I'm Nick Cannon. Hey, hey, let's go, Brandon. Pandemic ain't real, they just planned it. Hey, hey, let's go, Brandon. You ask questions, they start banning. Hey, hey, let's go, Brandon. Hey, let's go, Brandon. Brandon. Look at Australia, that's what's coming next if we don't stand up. Stop complying with them, taking our rights, it's time to man up. Hey, this is about control, everybody knows, everyone complies. We're the kinds of pros, I don't need a plane, I just hit the road, I do what I want, I can't sell my soul, market about to crash, this is what you chose, ruining the country, I think that's the goal, you gon' take the mark, I take never roles, I'm a man of God, I can never let's fold. Go, Brandon, I keep a drum like I'm Nick Cannon. Hey, hey, let's go, Brandon, pandemic ain't real, they just play.
Shout out Hibbler Productions for getting the truth out there, because that's what matters. Being fearless and being able to put things out. That's why I rock with Hibbler Productions, and we have the same mission. It's time to change humanity.